Today, the International Monetary Fund announced it was canceling Haiti's near $270 million debt. Welcome relief, but it has been more than 6 months since the earthquake hit, and there's still a whole lot of work to be done. Students around the world are answering the call to help to try to rebuild Haiti's schools. A program called Students Rebuild is born of a partnership between the Bezos Family Foundation, Architecture for Humanity, and Global Nomads Group, and it recently connected teens who lived through Haiti's earthquake with those who survived Hurricane Katrina. As it turns out, they have a lot more in common than you might think.
Can you imagine being a kid from New Orleans and you feel a little bit isolated in your own country, and then you connect with Haitian kids who are close but far, they're in another country, and then you realize that you have some type of similarity. Maybe you lost parents, maybe you lost fellow students. My name is Chris Plute, and I'm the co-founder of Global Nomads Group. We're giving these opportunities, we're making bridges where there are none.
During the earthquake, I was inside, and then the house started to shake, and I didn't know what was happening. I thought it was a truck that hit the house. But when I went outside, I saw people all dusty and blood. There were also people that were on their knees asking for forgiveness, and then we were scared. All of us started to pray.
Coming back to New Orleans was like a ghost town. No one was there in my neighborhood. I had to hold my dad's gun in protection because of the looters. It was just really scary. I thought I was gonna die, honestly.
It's a whole different situation when you get off the email, when you put down the phone, and you're face-to-face with somebody. You start empathizing. You realize that these stories that I'm hearing about in the news are actually happening to real people.
3 years ago for Katrina, I had evacuated with my father, and my mother was 8 to 9 months pregnant, and they're divorced, so I had no way of communicating with her, and I didn't even know if they were alive or anything like that.
I kind of felt the same way during the earthquake because my mom wasn't home, nobody else was home, I was the only one there. So I can kind of relate to your story.
I know after the hurricane, whenever I hear of another hurricane coming, I'm petrified. Are y'all afraid to be inside of a building?
Yes, I was afraid of houses for like a month after the earthquake. I was afraid to touch the ground.
When they're speaking to each other and they're being provoked and they're being asked questions, it's almost like they're relieved because they're able to tell their story. They're able to have somebody listen to them.
My house is 9 stories, 9 feet high ceilings, and I got 8 feet of water, so I lost all my possessions and my childhood memories.
How did you feel to lose your house and all your belongings?
It was really devastating, and I realized though that they're just material possessions and they can be replaced, and I was just lucky to have my family with me and be safe and alive.
When you're connected with somebody, when you know somebody, your relationship with them changes, and you're going to act differently towards them. You're going to empathize with them when something tragic happens, and you're going to celebrate with them when something fantastic happens.
I just want to know how your day-to-day life changed from before and after the earthquake.
Every Friday night, we always used to go party, so since there was no more kids, no more parties like that. Well, there's some places to party. And then you do it.
The world is challenging. It's absolutely challenging. It's probably never been so challenging. But when you make these connections between young people, I do have hope that we'll be all right.
It was very nice to talk to you guys, to be able to share, exchange stories.
One of the hardest things about Hurricane Katrina for me was that realizing a couple months after that the rest of the United States didn't seem to care about us, and they seemed to forget about New Orleans and that we were still struggling. And I just wanted y'all to know that we care about y'all and that we'll still be thinking about y'all years from now.
So far, students in the U.S. and in 7 countries around the world have held bake sales, rock concerts, and art contests, raising more than $100,000 to rebuild schools in Haiti.